What is going on, YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney. I appreciate you guys for watching this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now, as it does help these videos get out to the public and the channel to grow. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I do post a ton of great sports videos on here weekly and almost every single day if I can, and turn on post notifications too, so you don't miss a single video that I post. It's only right, you guys. Shocking news last night. Man, college football gets started off right off the bat last night, and I was excited about that. And then I saw the news last night that Andrew Luck is retiring. What? I looked at that. I was like, what? Andrew Luck retiring? I couldn't believe it. I still am in shock right now to this day. I really am. And to me, my biggest takeaway from Andrew Luck deciding to retire at age 29. Yes, Andrew Luck is retiring at age 29 years old. Okay, he's 29 years old, guys. I'm going to put this in context. You know, Aaron Rodgers, he's 35. Philip Rivers, he's like 37. You know, Matt Ryan, he's up there in age, okay? You know, Drew Brees, he's 40. Tom Brady in his 40s, okay? Quarterbacks today are playing at a high level into their age 36, 37, 38, year season, guys. I mean, quarterbacks seem these days to be getting better with age. Quarterbacks nowadays, I'm going to put it this way. 38 is the new 34 in the NFL today, okay? It just really is. You know, quarterbacks nowadays are playing at a high level as they age, okay? They're playing into their career a lot longer than quarterbacks were in the past, okay? The rules today are designed for quarterbacks to play for a long time. It's designed for them to play into their age 37, 38 season, 39 season, and play at a high level. And Andrew Luck, to me, the guy had about, I would say, at least another decade worth of football left in him, in my opinion. I think Andrew Luck could have played for another decade and been very productive. I mean, Andrew Luck, to me, is retiring is one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history. He really is. I mean, let's look at it. Let's look at what he did these past 7 seasons in the NFL when he played. Andrew Luck is retiring after only 7 seasons played in the NFL, age 29 years old. You know, Andrew Luck, he had over 23,000 passing yards and 171 touchdown passes, okay? If Andrew Luck would have played for about another 10 or 11 years, he had an outside shot of eclipsing the 500 touchdown pass mark, okay? He was going to easily surpass the 6,000 passing yard mark. Andrew Luck was going to be in the Hall of Fame regardless of winning a Super Bowl or not, guys. He was on pace to be a Hall of Fame type player. And Andrew Luck just said, I'm done. I'm done with football. I'm done with football. That's what he said. And listen, I firmly believe Andrew Luck had an outside shot at being the best quarterback in football at some point within the next 4, 5, 6 seasons, guys. I really do firmly believe Andrew Luck could have been the best quarterback in football. People forget, this past year, he was second to Patrick Mahomes in touchdown passes this year. He was trending on an upward, trend, guys. You know, he had a career high in completion percentage. He had a career high in passer rating. And the Colts were finally starting to get a real team around Andrew Luck. This coming year, if Andrew Luck would have played, this would have been the best defense, the best offensive line, the best group of wide receivers, the best running back that Andrew Luck would have ever had in his career. And the Colts, listen, the Colts organization, they failed Andrew Luck these past couple years. They really did. They failed the guy, okay? His first 5, 6 seasons in the league, they had a bad offensive line. They had a terrible defense. Chuck Pagano, to me, he's a bum. Chuck Pagano's a bum. He's not a very good head coach, okay? They had bad run games, bad offensive lines, terrible defenses. And what does Andrew Luck do coming into the league? Goes 11-5, 11-5, and leads his team to the playoffs consistently. And a couple years ago, he was even within 1 game of getting his team to the Super Bowl, but he ultimately lost to Tom Brady, okay? But my thing is with Andrew Luck, man, this is the best team he would have had yet. I feel like the Colts, look, Chris Ballard did a great job of turning this organization around. This organization was on the downward trend. He fixed the offensive line. He fixed the defense within 2 seasons, guys. He got Andrew Luck his best wide receivers yet. And Andrew Luck decides to retire at this point in his career. And ultimately, to me, it just came down to the injuries. Andrew Luck, this year, he's been dealing with a serious calf injury that's kept him out of practice for a long period of time. He pretty much just said in his press conference that, hey, these injuries outweigh what I've done in football these past couple years, and I'm done. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. It's a hard decision to make, but I'm done. I'm done. I can't deal with these nagging injuries anymore. Look, Andrew Luck's a big guy. He's a big guy, but it's really odd. He's had a lot of injury history, guys. He just really has. He's had a lot of injury history. In 2015, only played in 7 games. 2016, wasn't fully healthy. Misses all of 2017, okay? 2018 comes back and balls. This past year, balled out, okay? But this year, is dealing with a calf injury that's pretty much been nagging with him throughout the whole training camp, and has kept him out of practice and preseason action, okay? So again, Andrew Luck, he's had a lot of injury history. He's had a lacerated kidney, a torn abdominal muscle, a concussion, shoulder surgeries. I mean, he's been banged up a lot. That's a lot of injuries for a guy that's not even hit age 30 yet. So again, while I do believe Andrew Luck had a lot left in the tank, in my opinion, if he continued to stay healthy, and played, for about another 10 or 11 years, I do think Andrew Luck would have potentially eclipsed that 500 touchdown passing mark. He would have easily gone over 6,000 passing yards. He would have been a Hall of Famer, guys. But he just outweighed his decisions. He said, I'm done with football. I can't deal with this anymore. It's a tough decision for me to make, but I'm dealing with it, okay? And like I said, Andrew Luck, to me, behind Bo Jackson, is going to go down as one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history. Because like I said, I do think Andrew Luck was on the upward trend. The guy had a career high in completion percentage, a career high in passer rating this year. I think the Colts finally started to get the right team around him. He had great wide receivers now. He had a legit number 2 wide receiver behind T.Y. Hilton. He had the best defense on his team that he's ever had yet. I think Frank Wright's an amazing head coach. I think Frank Wright is a very good head coach. And he just hung it up. He just said, I'm done with football. I've made enough money. I'm to a point now where I'm done. I'm done because of these injuries. So again, shout out to Andrew Luck. I don't think Andrew Luck is going to be a Hall of Famer, just because my criteria for the Hall of Fame is that my definition of a Hall of Famer is, can the NFL story be written without this player? And I think the NFL story and history can be written without Andrew Luck. And to me, Andrew Luck does not have enough body of work to make him a Hall of Famer, combined with some of the other quarterbacks that he's going to be compared to. Pretty much all the great Hall of Fame quarterbacks have played for at least a decade and put up great numbers for at least a decade. And Andrew Luck was never quite the best quarterback in football. He just never quite was on that level. He was close. I thought he had a chance to be the best quarterback, but to me, Andrew Luck's not going to be a Hall of Famer. Didn't play enough seasons, doesn't have enough body of work, and to me, like I said, just really not enough body of work, okay? And to me, he goes down behind Bo Jackson as one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL history, guys. And Andrew Luck's great. Shout out to him. I feel sorry that now the Colts are just now starting to figure out what they need to do to be a Super Bowl contender consistently. They're just now getting him the elite offensive line. They're just now getting him the elite defense that he needs. They're just now getting him the great parts that they need to be a Super Bowl contender and to protect him. I mean, it was a crime how bad the offensive line for the Colts was these past couple years. It was a crime how bad that defense was. It was a crime how bad the running game was. It was a crime how bad a head coach Chuck Pagano was. And the Colts seemed like they were finally getting it right, but Andrew Luck said, man, I'm done. These injuries have caught up to me. I'm done. What does this mean for the future of the AFC South and pretty much the whole AFC picture? Well, for me, this opens up the Houston Texans window for about another good 10 or 12 years, guys. Now that Andrew Luck has gone out of this division, until the Colts get an elite quarterback to replace him, or a very good quarterback to replace him, I think Jacoby Brissett can play, but I don't think he's the long-term answer for the Colts, unless he develops into something that I just don't think he will be able to develop into, okay? The Texans, to me, they have about a 10 or 11 year window where they're going to own this division. I really do firmly believe that. Listen, if Deshaun Watson stays healthy, this team has a Super Bowl window for about 10 or 15 years. I really do firmly believe that. Whenever you have a guy like Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, you're gonna have a chance to win games pretty much every Sunday and every season. Deshaun Watson, to me, is a borderline top 10 quarterback right now. I think he's knocking on that door. He's right there on the cusp of being an elite quarterback. I mean, he comes right in the league, dominates, puts up a bunch of touchdowns. This past year leads the Texans to an 11-5 record. Gets them to a division title. Ultimately falls short in the playoffs, but again, Deshaun Watson, he's an amazing dynamic player. He's a franchise quarterback to me, definitely. He can make it for a bad offensive line. He can make it for bad wide receivers. I think the Texans are set at quarterback if Deshaun Watson can stay healthy for about another 10 or 15 seasons. I really do firmly believe that. I do think Deshaun Watson has the potential to be a top 10 quarterback of all time. That's how big of a Deshaun Watson fan I am. That's how much I believe in the guy. But again, the Texans, you need to learn from this situation. You need to learn from this because Andrew Luck, the Colts did him a disservice with the offensive line that they provided him with. Deshaun Watson last year was sacked 62 times, guys. It was a crime how bad the Texans' offensive line was. It was bad, okay? It was by far the worst in football. You have to get that fixed. For one, you're never going to be a contender with a bad secondary and a bad offensive line. And to me, that is what the Houston Texans have. A bad secondary and a bad offensive line. You need to get that offensive line fixed if you want to be taken serious in the AFC, okay? Just get that offensive line fixed. I don't think they did really anything this year to address the offensive line. I understand they drafted Titus Howard. I understand they drafted a kid later in the draft. But again, they didn't really do any big splashy moves for me to say this offensive line is fixed. I need to see it to believe it, to know that the Houston Texans offensive line is going to be fixed for the foreseeable future, okay? So they need to learn from this, because Deshaun Watson, you don't want to have this situation where he's like Andrew Luck, consistently getting hurt each and every week, okay? Because Deshaun Watson at one point had to ride a bus. He couldn't ride the team plane because he was so injured, okay? He had to ride a team bus separate. He had to ride a bus separate from his team on the plane to get to a game because he was so injured, guys. He was so banged up from that bad offensive line, from taking such a bad beating behind that terrible offensive line. And Deshaun Watson, he's been injured in college, okay? He already has had 2 ACL injuries between the college level and the NFL level. He's had a little bit of injury history, okay? Don't be like the Colts. Protect Deshaun Watson, keep him healthy, and you're going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl for within the next 10 or 15 years. I really do firmly believe that Deshaun Watson is going to get a Super Bowl ring before he retires. But again, the Houston Texans need to learn from this situation, because listen, the Carolina Panthers, they are starting to learn from the hard way from this, because Cam Newton last year was injured. He had to have surgery in the offseason. Aaron Rodgers, he's been banged up a lot. Green Bay needs to start fixing their offensive line. I'm a Packers fan. I know this. I think our offensive line has been lacking for the past couple years. We've not had consistent, great depth at the offensive line position, and our offensive line just has never really been elite. So again, they need to fix that. As far as the Colts go, I do think that, Jacoby Brissett, I think he's good, but I just don't see them winning this division. Now again, Jacoby Brissett, a couple years ago in 2017 when Jacoby Brissett Andrew Luck went down. Jacoby Brissett took over in 2017. He went 4-11 as a starter, okay? And he completed only 58% of his passes, okay? He had 13 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, okay? That's not very good. Now, again, this Colts team is built to where you can plug in a great quarterback and you'll have success, okay? They have an elite offensive line. They have very good wide receivers, okay? They have a solid running back in Marlon Mack, okay? And this defense is on the upward trend. This defense last year came on pretty strong, towards the end of the season. It's on the upward trend, okay? This defense is no longer terrible. And I think Frank Wright can get the best out of quarterbacks. But again, I just think your playbook is limited with Jacoby Brissett. I see the Colts winning close to 7-8 games this year, but again, I just don't see them getting over that 500 mark, because I just don't think Jacoby Brissett is the guy. Now, can he potentially learn from what he did in 2017? Get better? Absolutely. Can the Colts win this division? Absolutely. Will I bet on it? No. I think this division now comes down to the Colts. I'm sorry, not the Colts. Yeah, I'm sorry. It'll come down to the Jaguars and the Texans this year. I don't believe the Titans. Do not give me the Titans. I understand they have a good running game. I understand they have a good offensive line. I understand they have a very good young defense. But again, Marcus Mariota to me is terrible. The guy over the past 2 seasons has had 24 touchdowns to 23 interceptions. Someone come to me and explain to me how Marcus Mariota is a good quarterback, because he's not. Marcus Mariota is a terrible quarterback. The Titans, he is what's holding the Titans back. So I don't want to hear about Marcus Mariota. And the guy cannot even stay healthy too. So again, I'm not going to put the Titans in that area for competing for this division. To me, it comes down to the Jaguars and Texans this year. It really does. Listen, the Jaguars, I could see them winning this. I could see them winning this division this year. I really could. They improved mightily in the offseason, okay? They added Josh Allen, a pass rusher, in the draft. He's a stud. He's going to fit in so nicely with their defensive scheme. Jawan Taylor, he's a great offensive lineman. They added Nick Foles. Anyone's an upgrade over Blake Bortles. Nick Foles provides some stability at quarterback. I do think Nick Foles is an above average quarterback. He obviously was a great quarterback in that Super Bowl versus Tom Brady. He had a great playoff run these past 2 seasons. Nick Foles, to me, can get the job done. I think Nick Foles is a solid, great, above average quarterback. Not an elite quarterback, but he definitely can provide some stability at quarterback. And let's be real, guys. The Jaguars, with their running game with Leonard Fournette, I do think Leonard Fournette is going to ball out this year because he's in a contract year this year. Again, the Jaguars, they have an elite defense. If you give them any type of great quarterback play, the Jaguars can win this division, okay? And again, last year, they lost 6 games by 1 possession. And you mean to tell me if they didn't have serviceable quarterback play at that time, they couldn't have won at least 3 of those games? I see the Jaguars potentially challenging for this division, but again, for me, I'm rolling with the Houston Texans to win this division. I'm still rolling with the Houston Texans. I really am. I'm rolling with the Texans. Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. If Will Fuller can stay healthy, I do think he has a chance to go over the 1,000-yard mark. I think he's a very good wide receiver. He just has never been able to stay healthy. Kuti came on pretty well last year. They still got J.J. Watt. I don't know what's going on with Jadeveon Clowney. Maybe he's still holding out. I don't know. But again, I have faith that the Texans will figure out what they need to do with Jadeveon Clowney. They have solid defensive tackles. They won 11 games last year. But again, I worry about the Texans. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. I do think they'll probably win this division. They're my pick right now, as of right now, this morning, to win this division now that the Colts do not have Andrew Luck anymore. Because let's be real, guys. Andrew Luck was special. Andrew Luck last year was second in touchdown passes, okay? They only won 10 games, okay? Now, again, for me, I personally thought they would challenge for 12 wins or 11 wins this year. I thought the Colts were Super Bowl contenders with Andrew Luck. And again, can Jacoby Brissett go out there and ball and, play well enough to get this team to the playoffs and sneak in? Yes, he can. But again, I just don't think Deshaun Watson to be the best quarterback in this division. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. I do think the Colts are right there, but again, they're limited at quarterback with Jacoby Brissett. I have to see it to believe it. I just don't see Jacoby Brissett leading this team to a division title this year. I just don't. I think Jacoby Brissett is a good, solid, backup quarterback or a bottom line starter. I really do. But I just don't see him doing it. And again, I think the Texans are going to win this division, but again, I just don't see them as a Super Bowl contender. Until the Texans fix their offensive line and secondary, I have major questions about them. And again, last year, anytime the Texans went up against an elite quarterback last year, they folded. Okay, their secondary couldn't hold up. They weren't very good. Their secondary did not match up with the great elite quarterbacks last year. So until they can really start to get off the field and beat some of these elite competition quarterbacks, I just don't buy the Texans as a Super Bowl contender. I still think they make the playoffs, but again, it's pretty much solely based off Deshaun Watson. And I do worry about the Texans from this standpoint. Last year, they went 11-5, okay, but they had an easy schedule last year. This year, their schedule's not easy, okay? They have to travel to New Orleans. They have to travel to the Los Angeles Chargers. They have to play the Panthers, the Falcons. They have to travel to the Chiefs. They have to travel to the Ravens. They have to play the Patriots, and they have to play the Broncos. Not to mention they have to play their division foes twice. So again, while the Colts are not a terrible team, they're still going to be a solid team, okay? They still have offensive weapons. They still arguably have the best offensive line in all of football. And, the Jaguars, like I said, I think they've improved mightily this offseason. I think the Jaguars win anywhere from 7 to 8, maybe particularly 9 games. So I see the Texans around 9-8 wins this year. I think 9 or 8 wins gets this division this year. But again, I'm just not sold on the Texans. But again, that's pretty much what I have to say for this video. Andrew Luck, shout out to you. I'm really devastated that he's not going to be playing football anymore. I really am. It's whatever. I think Andrew Luck had his best football ahead of him. I really did, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. But that's pretty much it for this video. Be sure to comment where you agree with me, where you disagree with me. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, get other people hip to this channel, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God blessed day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.